Hi guys, I'm going to give people a second to come on. Not that I really think there's going to be a lot of people coming on right now, but maybe there are some of you out there. And I figured that I would show you guys how to make my salsa verde because it's something that I make all the time. It's super easy. Everybody loves it. So if you're going somewhere and you want to take something, this is the perfect thing. It goes with all kinds of food. It's just, you know, delicious. I love it. It's great for chips, of course. And I'm going to make a little bit of a different version today. So salsa verde is like the easiest thing in the world to make, but you can make it a million different ways too. So that's good. Let me show you what I have right now. I see that I only have maybe one viewer. Try to comment though so that I can know that you're here because it's really hard to see, you know, on the phone, everything. I've got a little backlight here so hopefully you'll be able to see. And I have prepped most of my ingredients. So basically I have some tomatillos, a few garlic cloves, and I really like garlic. And I'm adding in a couple of Roma tomatoes, which I don't always do in my salsa verde, but I'm going to do that right now. I'm gonna add these in. I've got a jalapeno, I've got a chile serrano. Those are the smaller ones, the kind of long ones. These are not dried. These are fresh chilies. And then, hi Laura. I see now it says that you are here, so that's awesome. And I'm gonna grab some of these dried chiles as well. Enrique, you can say hi.
Hi. Everybody, if you didn't know I'm here. So because I'll down on that. And my mom's they doing turn, right?
Yes,
so
that's
it'll
right.
be possible if I'm down from his legs.
Okay, so I also have these chiles japoneses, which are like dried, small dried red chiles, which you can usually find in the Hispanic part of your food store. So even in the grocery store, usually they'll have a Hispanic side. That's what these look like right here. Now, I gotta warn you, when you are kind of grilling those, the smell can be a little overwhelming, so it just depends. But because of that, sometimes I try to do that towards the end, just because it can make people cough. Usually it doesn't, but every once in a while you don't know what kind of chilies that you're gonna get, so it might make everybody start coughing. Just something about putting them on the heat. So what I'm doing is I just have a big pan right here, if you can see that. And I'm going to start to throw in my tomatillos, my onion. I actually probably would have used a little bit more onion, but it turns out that this is all the onion that I have left in the house. So I'll throw in the tomatillos, and you take the husks off and then just wash them. The cilantro we're not going to use until later. So this is going to be when I blend it. And the style that I'm doing right now is going to be used in a blender. So it's not like molcajete style, which would be one of these, I don't know cómo se llaman. I'm gonna show you. One of, like these things, but made out of rocks. What's that called? So I'm not making it that style. That style is absolutely delicious as well. But I'm just gonna put these ingredients in here. And then they're going to start to turn really dark. They're gonna get all of these burned edges you'll see here pretty soon. Let me throw in the garlic as well. Looks like I don't have the garlic in there yet. So once they start to get really burned on all of the sides and they're tender all the way through, that's when you'll know that they are ready to blend. Then the only other thing that you add into this is a little bit of like some chicken bouillon powder and salt. That's pretty much it. Hey David, hey Ron. I am making salsa verde here. So if you can see what I have in my pan right now, I've got 1 chile jalapeno, 1 serrano, these tomatillos, a piece of onion, some garlic. I've got about 3 cloves of garlic here. And you can start to hear that it's kind of starting to crackle. Hi Quintana. So we're gonna leave this. I have it on high because I kind of want it to cook quickly. This is not a complicated meal, but dish. This is a pretty easy dish. Enrique, you're moving my light. My kitchen is so dark. Whenever I turn a light on here, that's when I realize how dark it really is. I'm surprised I can cook anything in here. So if you hear the crackling, can you take this off? You can hear things kind of starting to crackle. Enrique's over here trying to help me. And I just kind of shake it around. You don't really have to do anything, just making sure that you're turning all of the sides.
Yes, real I am.
And we will wait for it to start to kind of burn, and I'll show you what that looks like. Hi Enrique, come here. Do you want to say hi? Do you like salsa verde?
Hi.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes? You love it? Oh, thumbs up. You guys get a
Do you
thumbs
guys
up. Okay.
like it or not? Give us a thumb up or a thumbs down.
I don't think Facebook has a thumbs down. Maybe they could
Thumb up.
do oh, somebody gave you a thumbs up. Because maybe they could do like angry faces if they don't like it. But I think they're going to love it. This is delicious. You know that.
No way.
No way. You got a thumbs up?
No. Come.
Wait, no. We don't have to have privacy. Look. Come here. Tell me. What? You didn't what? Oh, he says that he didn't think you guys would listen right away, but you did, and you guys gave him a thumbs up. He can't believe it. He thinks that's really cool. I'm going to just shake him around. Who else do we have on here?
But she meant him, not me.
Him, not you. The food. It's starting to burn just a little bit, not much. You can see that it's starting to get this burn thing. Trust me, it really has to burn on the sides. It's going to make all the difference in flavor. And when I first started making this, I thought that was so strange. I don't think that you're, supposed to burn food or that it gives it flavor, but it really, really does. You can also make this by boiling this, but I'll tell you that's going to give it, again, a really different flavor. So I might make something similar to this, and with boiling the ingredients instead of grilling them and getting them kind of burned on all sides. And I would use that more likely for, say, enchiladas, like the sauce for enchiladas. By the way, though, if you were to make a sauce for enchiladas, like a red sauce, then you wouldn't really be using just tomatoes, red tomatoes. You would actually be using chiles anchos. And while we're waiting for this to keep grilling, I can actually show you what they look like. Okay, so let me show you what these look like here. These are kind of wide and dried. On whatever package that you get, they're actually going to say ancho at some point. So it might say pasilla ancho or whatever it says. But that is how you would make enchilada sauce for red enchilada sauce. And for the green ones, you would just use these tomatillos. So this is really starting to come along here. I'm going to shake it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to put it back. Okay, so I'm just kind of letting it rotate on its own. Are they going to like it?
A lot.
A lot? Yeah.
Give us a tip. It's not too tip. Let's give us the kind of green.
Yeah. So this is actually the first time that I've ever cooked live on Facebook. I see a lot of people doing it, and People seem to enjoy it. I'm always nervous that you guys are going to have all this time where you're just kind of waiting and you might be bored, but you know, hey, you can multitask. You can watch how I'm cooking it and do something else maybe at the same time.
Want to see this.
So it's coming along.
It's on YouTube. What's on
It's not on YouTube yet. Should I put it on YouTube, Enrique?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
And it's good to see it on YouTube.
He's already talking about YouTube. It's not on YouTube. This is live. We're just recording it right now. But I could do that. I could download it and put it on YouTube.
See what's on YouTube?
And I think
If
that...
you want to see it, you can watch on your tablet.
You can watch on your tablet. What else can you watch on?
Phone.
On your phone?
Computer.
He's right. He's telling you guys all the ways that you can watch. So far he said you can watch on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer. What else?
And the television.
Television, you're right. A lot of people don't know that they can watch things on their television from their phone, huh?
And you can also just listen to it.
Oh, and you could just listen to it. That's
Just
right.
a radio.
With a radio. I don't know if I can get my Facebook Live onto a radio.
If it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, then...
You can also do things that involve television like that.
Okay, so it's coming along. At this point, I'm going to throw in these chiles japoneses. So these dried red chilies. And like I said, this might make everybody cough. I'm hoping that it doesn't, but we'll see. It just depends how these are. And then the good thing about making something like this is that it doesn't really matter how many ingredients you put in. Like if you have too many chiles or not enough, I would never suggest not putting in enough though, because as I'm blending it, I'm really going to taste it. I'm going to see what the flavor is, so I can adjust as I'm blending, as I'm making the final touches on this. So it's always going to come out perfect. Because if I were to tell you, oh, you're going to need, yes, this is your sister. If I were to tell you you're going to need, 8 chile japoneses, you might get 2 or 3 that are super, super hot, or that could be the case for the jalapeno or for the serrano, and it's not going to come out the same. On the other hand, they could be particularly mild for their given heat, and then it's not going to be the same. So it's really important that when you cook like this, you're just kind of testing it.
So it also means the temperature of heat.
It means what?
It also means the temperature.
Temperature of what?
Of the heat.
The temperature of the heat?
Too.
Yeah, so I've actually got this all grilling Enrique on high. So you can tell them that right now this is all on high.
Another word for high, medium.
That's not another word for high.
I'm kidding.
Medium is not another word for high. Medium is medium. But
High
I actually
is
have
high.
this, yes, I actually have this on
just
high.
joking, you guys.
So now I really need to start
know
turning
which
these
one.
around. What I will probably do is end up taking these chiles japoneses out, because you see how it's red here? These are really turning like a very dark red, almost blackish. So as they start to cook more, I will take them out and put them aside on a plate. Yeah, see, so that's one side, and then here's the kind of blackened side, which is really how you want everything to be. Oh, can you close that, Enrique?
What?
And for those people who are just joining us, like I said, I don't always use any red tomatoes. This time I decided to go ahead and use 2 of them while I am cooking the green tomatillos.
You see?
Again, they're coming along just fine. I'm going to start to put them on their sides a little bit so they are blackening. Oh, Enrique. So, hey, Enrique, while we're doing this, why don't you tell me why you love math? My son loves math, he says. He spends a lot of time creating math problems, actually. That's what he likes to do for fun. Tell us about it. Let me give them a tip real quick. Here is a pro tip, not really a pro tip because it comes from my husband. It drives him crazy when I am putting my hands in danger and keeping them constantly over the heat. So try not to, okay, hold on one second. So try not to keep your hands kind of constantly over the burner because that kind of heat isn't good for your hands. For the people who don't know, I actually had surgery, carpal tunnel surgery on both of my hands. And so I try to be a little bit more conscientious and not keep my hands constantly over a heat source and just be a little bit more careful. Okay, these are definitely ready to come out. They did not make us cough at all, so that's good. Like I said, you never know, but they are pretty blackened. So we'll go ahead and set them aside right now while the rest of the ingredients cook. I did ask the question. Not yet. With dinner.
Can I have a little bit?
Not yet, Mama.
It's only 2 because Pedro.
Well, he wasn't supposed to do that because he had the Gatorade. That's okay.
And Enrique can have the Gatorade.
No, it's not up to you guys who has what. It's up to me because I'm the mom.
It won't be down to Pedro.
Okay, the garlic is coming along well.
Come on, that's Pedro. Okay, guys.
So, see, they're really starting to blacken. Now, you don't have to have the entire thing blackened. You just want to make sure that there's some of it blackened on every side and that your ingredients are tender all the way through.
I'm not surprised. Goodbye. You're fine.
I think I'm also going to take out the garlic here because the garlic is starting to look more than done. So I'll set that aside as well.
My mom did do this stuff from you. I see. It's too bright. And the whole thing went.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to have that kind of burnt look, Enrique.
Yeah,
See
but
if that will
if it's
focus
just
in.
the whole thing.
Okay, so let me let them
That's the kind of thing.
kind of
You don't want to
see
take
here.
it out. It's not going to be good.
I'm just gonna shake it around here. Also, use a pan that you
Okay, I'm finally going to
isn't one that you want to use as your constant source of non-stick because it definitely starts to get the hardened bottom, and it can be a little bit hard to clean depending how long you have to be grilling this. It's coming along. I have no idea how long this has taken. I really didn't look when we started.
Oh, please.
Yes.
My bow just like the sharp part.
Your bone. No way.
Not my bow.
Your bow. Oh, your earring.
Yeah.
This one is almost done. It's starting to get
And
really
people.
tender. I got it
This.
going on the back.
Really, you break my.
Okay. Okay.
You put it in.
No, I said no. Guys, what's going on? Your brother and sister. Enrique, do you want to wipe your face like right here because it looks like you have syrup or something from your chin all the way up your cheek. What is that?
Stop. You leave it out. Right now.
Are you trying to say?
I don't
Alright. Enrique, can you close that please? We're not hanging on door. Okay, it is coming along. I think I can probably take out these tomatoes. I don't want them to be
I hope you guys
so soft that I can't get them out with these tongs. The onion is probably about ready as well. It's tender. I'm not as worried about the onion being too black. Just kind of a grilled look is fine.
Yes.
And tender.
And juicy.
I also could have left them just a little bit longer, so it doesn't really matter. Some of these tomatillos are starting to be done. You see this one is still really green. It's a little bit hard. You can't tell that I'm squeezing, but it's a little bit harder than I want it to be. On the other hand, like these ones, they're actually so soft that if I were to squeeze with any kind of strength at all, it would squeeze all the way through. Caitlin?
Okay, well now we're in the middle of the video. You guys want to have...
Okay, so yeah, most of these are done right now. The chile serrano, I can take that out. It's grilled on one side. It's tender all the way through. The jalapeno, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Got another one of these tomatillos that are ready. Let's use kind words, guys. Yes, I can put it on YouTube.
Wait, could they give it a like?
Could Facebook give me a like? Sure. The people watching on Facebook? Yeah. But I don't actually think there's anybody watching right now.
I know.
It is
when we're done.
Well, sometimes people will be there when you're doing live, but the problem is right now, I think it is the day before Christmas Eve, and so people are super busy, and not everybody is home to be able to watch. Oh, look, now you've got some again. We'll see, Mama. Okay, so this one is done as well.
Look at this. It's
blackened and it's nice and tender.
Look at this. Okay.
So we'll see.
Hold on, guys. We need to get ready. Ow. How about...
Okay, so almost done on these. Like I said, if it's not tender all the way through, so on this side it's just not quite tender. And the reason is I want it to be able to really blend nicely. In the blender, you're not going to really puree it. It's just going to be a few ons and offs of the blender so that it still has a really nice texture to it. But again, when you make salsas, there's so many ways that you can make it. Some people like it to be a little bit thinner, so you would add in some water to this. I may add in some water, but if I do, it's going to be very little. So I've got about 5 tomatillos left and this jalapeno that I'm still grilling. So I'm going to grab the blender real quick. So I've just got a blender right here.
We will be back, guys. We will be back. Whatever you
and I'm going to start adding in these ingredients that I have so far. The tomatillos, the onion, the red Roma tomatoes that I added. Like I said earlier, I don't always do it this way. This is just what I decided to do today. Take the stems off of your chiles if they have any. So on this serrano, I'm just going to take it off. I've got my onion here that I'm going to add in. And the rest of my tomatillos that are cooked already. Not the cilantro until this is all the way ready. My garlic. I'll add in a few more of the chiles japoneses. Let's see how this is coming along. Okay, I think we've got this one done. So I'll go ahead and add that into the blender right now. My jalapeno is ready. And I'm going to take the stem off of that one. Ooh, this is very hot. This is not the way you should do things. Too hot to touch. And it probably could have cooked a little bit longer because it's not that tender, but it will be fine. If they get too overcooked, the flavor will be fine, but it will start to come apart as you're taking them out of your pan. So I've got 3 more here and they just need a little bit more time. So we're gonna give them another minute or so. And if you can see, the pan is really starting to get blackened. So like I said, it can be hard to clean that off. I clean it off. I use this pan for this a lot. So it's okay, but it will definitely require some soaking when I'm done with this. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and add in my chicken bouillon flavor. This is definitely something that has a lot of sodium in it, so if you're concerned about the sodium, you can just reduce the salt and the chicken, what is this called? Chicken bouillon, right? I use it all the time, but I call it polvo, the powder. I'm gonna add some salt in as well. Again, when you're using the seasonings, it's really gonna be to taste, which you're not going to know until you start to blend it up. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. I think this is just about done. Okay, that one is good. This one's ready, and the last one. The last one is, not quite. Let me get out the other piece of the blender, and I think that by the time I do that, we should be good to go to take this out. And I will grab a little bit of water as well, because I do think it's probably going to need a little bit. So let me grab this. It's actually right behind us. Now, this is funny, guys. I'm gonna end up turning this around the phone for you guys to see, and I didn't account for how dirty the rest of the kitchen is, so I'm going to have to be like creative how I go about showing this to you. Okay, all right, let's see. Leave that one more minute while I grab the water. Okay, I've got some water here.
Mom, could we change?
Not yet. Wait. Okay. So, could you please stop opening that door? Okie doke. I'm gonna put this, go ahead and add this in now, the last tomatillo, turn the stove off, move the pan back. Actually, I'm not gonna move it back because I'm not certain that somebody wouldn't try to touch the top of the stove, so let me not do it that way. I'm going to turn my light here a little bit, and then I'm going to turn this camera so that you can see, and now you're going to see here. Just, Enrique, can you close that door? I do need a new blender, guys. The top here, it doesn't have the cover, so I need to put a spatula or something so that it doesn't come out. And just put this. Okay, it's going to be loud. I'm going to turn the blender on. Now I'm gonna cough. It's those okay, this is what it looks like so far. I'm gonna add in some water. I'm tasting it right now also for the salt. Okay, that wasn't a very good pour, was it? I added in that whole cup of water actually, by the way. Unfortunately, because I really do need a new blender, this is not blending how I need. There shouldn't be any large bits in here. So, and it could actually use a little bit more jalapeno. So I'm going to throw in, or some heat. So I'm going to throw in the rest of these chiles japoneses. Not yet, Mama. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to finish blending these in some small cups. These little blender cups. Can you hand me that blender cup there? But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and add the cilantro now. Now is probably a good time to add that in.
No, please.
Thank you.
Please.
Okay. Can you close that? Not yet, Caitlin.
Please.
I'm going to add just a little bit more salt in here. Okay. And let me get a bowl so that you'll be able to see what the final product is. So I'll just use this little bowl right here, just a clear bowl. Like I said, unfortunately, this is not working so well in my blender, so I'm going to use it in the smaller cups. Yeah, I really do need a new blender, guys, or a new blade. It's probably just the blade. The blender is just fine, but I'll do it this way. Yeah, like I said, you don't want any large pieces in this. Well blended. Okay, I'm gonna give it 1 or 2 more times, especially because you have all of that grilled stuff, right? So the dried chilies and the rest of it, it's got that burn on it. So you don't want that sticking in your throat. Okay, so here is one ready. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do this with the rest of that pitcher, but here is what that looks like. And I'll show you from the top in a few minutes. Like I said, you can add more water or less, depending how you like it. This we're going to use on top of tacos, so I prefer to do it just with a little bit of water added so that it's not terribly thick. Also, if you refrigerate this later, it will thicken up as well. So you want to think about that when you're making it for the first time. Unless you're going to eat it all at the same sitting, and then that's different. Okay, and I just have a little bit more to add. This will be the final one. It's unfortunate that I had to do it this way, but I did, so it is what it is. There's just barely a little bit left in this one. And I will just blend up this one as well. Okay, that is good. We're good on that. It's done. So that is it. Let me get a spoon so you guys can all see how delicious this looks. Okay, guys. So here, you actually let me move this back for you because you'll probably get a better view over here.
Hi, guys.
Where I was.
Wait.
Can you close that door, Enrique?
Hi.
Okay, let me move the light. I'm trying to make sure you guys are going to be able to see. Enrique, can you close the door? Because it's letting all the dark in, actually. Okay, so here we go. Here is the finished salsa. Let me just spoon some of that for you. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's it. That is the finished salsa. So you see it's definitely got some texture here, but it's liquidy enough that it is just perfect for going over the tacos or whatever else you want to use it for. If you're going to use it with chips, you could do it like this, or you could even do it a little bit thicker.
Never.
Really just depends what you're using it for. But this is going to be absolutely delicious. It is one of my favorite things to make. And I make salsa, I don't know, usually at least a couple times a week, one type or another, because it makes all food better. But I gotta get the rest of the food done, guys. So it was nice hanging out with you. I know there weren't a lot of people to see it. If you watch the replay or fast forward through the replay and have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. Have a good holiday weekend, guys. Talk to you soon.
Adios.
Adios.
I guess
We can't end it, Enrique.